I got a new card that I did not think would be my first card of 2024. Because up until recently, cards that have been on my radar are the Capital One Savor 1 with its amazing 3 times on certain categories including dining and groceries, or the Built MasterCard giving me tons of points on my rents. But realizing I had a major time-sensitive purchase and that the limited time offer was ending soon, my plans had to change. And so in this video, we'll go over how I narrowed down the card I'm getting, why I'm applying for the American Express Business Gold card live in this video, going over my credit profile, and all the new perks and benefits of the card. But first, why? Why did the Amex Business Gold card jump to the top of my list? Well, you see, right now I'm finishing up the minimum spend on my American Express Platinum card's retention offer, where I had to spend $3,000 across 3 months starting a couple months ago. Given it was the holiday season, I had no trouble naturally hitting that spend. So what's next? Usually I would take my time and see what's the best and perfect card for my next step, like the Savor 1 Capital One or the Built card. But because I realized I have a 4 to 5 figure spend coming up in the next couple months, I didn't want that spend going to waste. And with major spend like that, usually the best return on spend cards happen to be on business cards, which you do not need a formal business or even an LLC to qualify for. If you have a side gig earning you a little bit of income, or even plans on starting and running your own business, you may qualify. The bar is much lower than you think. So what were my choices? Well, I've always said that Chase points are the most valuable out of any other currency to me, so that's where I started my search. However, I already have the Chase Inc. Cash card, the Inc. Unlimited card, and the Chase Inc. Preferred card. And so the only other business card left is the Chase Inc. Premier card. At first glance, it looks great, with a relatively low $195 annual fee, giving you 2.5 times points back on large purchases, with 2 times on everything else. But the welcome bonus is a relatively low $1,000 or 100,000 points after 10K of spend in 3 months. Not only that, but the points earned on this card have to be redeemed on this card, likely for cashback. You're not allowed to transfer these points to travel partners to redeem for outsized value, or even to other Chase cards in order to use your points that way, at least for now. But a couple months ago, there seemed to have been a glitch or a bug where people were able to do the transfer, but only lasted a few days before it was patched. Whether or not this was an actual bug that got fixed, or it's an actual new feature that got leaked, no one knows. But at least right now, with the info that I could find, these points are not transferable. Okay, so Chase business cards are out of the question. What about American Express cards? Well, here we have 3 major options with the American Express Blue Business Plus, the Business Gold, and the Business Platinum cards. With the Blue Business Plus, there's 2 major welcome offers that I could find. One that's offering 15,000 points after just 3K of spend in the first 3 months, and the other that's offering 25,000 points after 5K of spend in the same first 3 months. With the main perk of the card being you're getting 2 times points for all of that spend, up to $50,000 per calendar year, which in my case is probably not relevant because I'm not getting anywhere close to that limit. Then there's the Amex Business Gold card at $375 in annual fees, with a baseline welcome bonus of 70,000 points after 10K of spend in the first 3 months, although I was able to find a much higher offer that we'll cover later in the video. And then you have the Amex Business Platinum at $695 in annual fees, giving you 120,000 points after 15K of spend in the first 3 months, or a higher 150,000 points, which was the highest offer that I was able to find. Now with Amex cards, there's usually a blurb that says you won't qualify for the welcome bonus on some of these cards if you've had that card in the past or another card in the lineup. So even though the different credits on these cards could affect the value I get from the card, I mainly want to focus on the welcome offers to make sure I'm getting a near all-time high offer, given I can only get these bonuses once in my lifetime, unless I see other applications in the future that do not have that language, or I'm doing it under a different business. And then of course there's a recent offer of 300,000 points on the Capital One Venture X business card with 150K after the first 20K of spend, and the other $150K after $100,000 worth of spend in the first 6 months. That's probably the highest offer I've seen on any card, but also by far the highest spend I've ever seen. The $20K would already be a slight stretch for me to even attempt, but the $100K is definitely way outside of my range, so this card is probably not a consideration. But putting all of these cards side by side anyways, we can see that the Chase Ink Premier and the Amex Business Gold card both have $10,000 minimum spends across their offers. The Amex Business Platinum card has $15K across both of their offers, and the Venture X Business card is just wild. Slap on the points we get for each of these offers, and we can see a value ranging from $1,000 up to $6,000 from these welcome bonuses. And that's because I'm able to consistently get 3 to 5 cents per point on all of my points across these three ecosystems in the past, so I like to pin these points at an average of 2 cents per point when comparing the values of these points. Though remember, the Chase Ink Premier here is much lower because we're not able to leverage these different ways of redeeming Chase points to get higher value. Now with these numbers, if we subtract the annual fees of all of these cards from the value we get, we actually see that the 300,000 points offer on the Venture X Business is actually the lowest return on spend out of all of these, and actually the highest offer is the one I was able to find, the Amex Business Gold card at 22% return on spend. There is something to be said about the points you would earn for making that minimum spend, but you get 1x points for general spend on both the Amex cards anyways, and those are really the only two in contention right now, so they're kind of comparable. And so the Amex Business Gold with 130,000 points as a welcome offer is the one I decide to go for, with the cherry on top being because I'm an existing American Express customer. When I'm going for this card, they may not need to do a hard pull on my credit profile, which would maintain my credit score. Not that it matters that much over the long term, but it does matter if you really want that pristine credit score in the short term. Now, although this welcome bonus is a huge portion of the card, the recently revamped perks and benefits aren't too shabby either. First of all, the calculations were based on a $375 annual fee, but because I'm doing this before February 1st, I'm still able to get the old annual fee of $295 per year, which would bump up the return on spend for this card a little bit as well. But whether you're paying for the new or old annual fees, you are getting 2 new credits to help offset that cost. The first one being US purchases at FedEx, Grubhub, and office supply stores. So for those of you who ship a lot, this credit might be used like instantly, but if not, one meal at Grubhub or some good purchases at these office supply stores might be enough every month to hit that credit. If you do max this out, that's $240 going towards lowering the effective annual fee on the card. Second, there's a $12.95 a month of credit towards Walmart Plus memberships. Now I have this on my American Express Platinum card, which I already don't use, which means this perk on this card is pretty much worth 0. But if you do shop there, you will get benefits like getting free delivery, shipping with no minimums, fuel savings, Paramount Plus video streaming, auto care, which is apparently new, and more. You could also get first dibs towards certain sales, which is what they did for Black Friday last year. So credits, pretty good. I could imagine that most people will be able to leverage most of these credits, especially when before the revamp, there were no credits to help offset that $295 in annual fees. Spending on this card is not bad either, with 1x points on general spend, 3x on flights and prepaid hotels through the Amex portal, and 4x on your top 2 eligible categories such as US media providers for advertising, US purchases for electronic goods retailers and software and cloud system providers, US restaurants, US gas stations, transit, and monthly wireless bills. And the great thing is, these are all automatic. No need to fuss about activating things like you have to do on the Freedom Flex. In fact, it's more like the Citi Custom Cash card because the top 2 categories can change from billing cycle to billing cycle. You also have a $150,000 cap on all of these 4x categories combined, but unless you're a pretty sizable business already, it's probably going to be hard to hit. So when it comes to spending, for me personally, the electronics goods retailers category is pretty interesting, given electronics are already quite expensive and 4x points or 8% in value back for those purchases is quite significant. especially when you're stacking them with potential Amex offers or sites like Rakuten that can give you 5, 10, or even more % back on your purchases. Link down below to get $30 after your first purchase and help support the channel. Thanks in advance. The 4 times on restaurant spend is also quite nice, given the best cards I have right now for that category is 3 times points on my Amex Green or my Chase Sapphire Preferred card, especially when I can't go for the regular Amex Gold card and getting those 4 times points, given I don't qualify for the welcome bonus. And then on top of all of that, you get access to the hotel collection, baggage insurance, secondary CDW, travel delay insurance, cell phone protection with a few restrictions, extended warranty, and purchase protection. Most of these do overlap with cards that I already have, especially the Amex Platinum card, but if you don't have that many cards, then all of these different perks can really add up to give you more value from this card. Okay, so now that we've decided on the Amex Business Gold card, how do we try and find the best offers? Number 1, just check directly on the website. If I do that now, I actually only see the baseline 70,000 offer. Not that great. Number 2, check your physical mail. Yes, from time to time, you might get personally targeted for some of these elevated offers and have some secret link or secret code that you can put in to get these offers. And number 3, referral links. If you have a friend or know someone who has this card, you could check the referral links like down below to see if you can find the offer, which is what I was able to find using one of these referral links, giving me that elevated 130,000 point offer. Now, before we go to the live application, let me do a quick run through of my current credit card situation and credit profile so you have this data point if you plan to go through the same process. I had a total of 16 cards across my entire journey, with 10 of them still open today. Of those 10 cards, 7 of them are personal and 3 of them are business cards. And of those cards, 4 personal cards and all 3 business cards are from Chase, 2 personal cards are from American Express, and the final personal card is from Capital One. I have a credit score of about 768, which is a bit lower than usual given I've had high utilization recently, and about $110,000 to $130,000 worth of credit limit across all of my cards. So looking at my profile as a whole, I don't think it's too bad. The main concern I have is the dip in my credit score temporarily, which might affect my application, but let's give it a shot. All right, now that we're on the landing page, we can see that we are applying for the American Express Business Gold card with the elevated offer of 130,000 points after 10K of spend in the first 3 months. That's up from the baseline 70,000 points because of this referral. If we then scroll down, we'll see that the annual fee is still $295, which is going up to $375 on or after February 1st, 2024, and then the points multipliers with 4 times on your top 2 eligible categories, 3 times on Amex Travel, and 1 times on everything else. So now that we've looked that over, let's go back up, press apply now, and go through the form. All right, now that we're on the form, let's triple check that we are applying for what we think we're applying. So the American Express Business Gold card and the offer of 130,000 points instead of the baseline 70. We will see that there is a lifetime language down here saying that you're not eligible for this welcome offer if you had this card or a previous version in the past. I've never had it, so it won't affect me. Now, moving on to the form, you can choose one of 2 designs with gold or rose gold. In this case, I'll probably be choosing gold. Email address and typical business info, including your company DBA if you have one. In my case, I do not. Your business address, and then going down, you'll want to choose your industry type. So in my case, none of these fit in exactly, so it'll probably be other. And then as a company structure, you can choose if you're a corporation, a partnership, or a sole prop, either of which could work as a business. Further down, years in business, number of employees, and then your business spend and estimated monthly spend. When it comes to your federal tax ID, again, it depends on what type of company structure you have. Say if you're a corporation or an LLC, maybe you have your EIN tax number. If you're a sole prop, then you may be using your personal SSN. Further down, you have your role in company, in this case, owner, but you could be the GM, partner, or any one of these other roles. And then moving on to your personal information, your name, your home address, your SSN, date of birth, and then your own annual income, including non-taxable annual income as well. And remember, when you're doing your total annual income, it includes things like your retirement income, investments, and rental property, not just your sole W-2, for example. That said, let me go back up and fill out this form. Alright, now that I'm finished filling out the form, we get to the bottom, go over the terms and conditions, including the APR, which you shouldn't care about because you'll be paying off your bill in full and on time every single time. And then after we go through that, then do the submit application and hope for the best. Alright, now that the application has been received, we can see if we want to add any employee cards, as we can do here, either the regular gold card or the no annual fee one. In this case, I'm just going to go down and press not now. And approved. Thank you, we received your information, and the green approved. Now it does say I'll get my card relatively soon, but I can get the number in just a few steps if I want to start spending now, so I'll go through that flow as well. Okay, now that I'm on this page, it tells me about temporary card numbers, temporary CID, and expiration, so I can use it now. Because this is a charge card, there is no preset spending limit, as is more flexible compared to a credit card. Alright, so fortunately a great result, and I can use my card right away, given I went through the flow to get my temporary numbers, and that I was able to add it to my mobile wallet and use it there as well. I was a bit worried though, because going through the flow, I noticed a few things that were different compared to when fellow credit card creator Stan went through his flow, where the submitting of the form actually said accept this offer when he went through it, but on mine it just said regular submit application. That wasn't too worrisome, but later on in the application, during the stage where you were asked to add some employee cards, his already said good news, you are approved. But when I was going through this flow, all it said was thank you and that the application had been received. Maybe Stan's was already pre-approved and I just went through the regular flow and just happened to get approved. Can't be sure, but those are two differences that I noticed through this process. And when it comes to hard pulls, I haven't noticed any hard pull notification or email, which I typically get when I apply for cards and have to go through these hard pulls. So maybe that's also a good sign. And that's the American Express Business Gold Card application. If you can find this elevated 130,000 point offer and can hit that minimum spend, this is an amazing way to get some really valuable Amex MR points, especially when this offer and spend is already enough for you to get a round-trip business class ticket to Asia and back, but only if done right. So go on and check out this video for a step-by-step process on how to use these points the right way. See you over there.